to see this brand new movie about Saturday Night Live with the incredibly creative title, Saturday Night. This is a movie about the first ever episode of Saturday Night Live and essentially what happened in the lead up to that show. The production and putting together something so chaotic as what Saturday Night Live actually is. A show full of sketches and a bunch of sort of up and coming comics trying to make a name for themselves. And what did that look like when it was first happening? When nobody knew that the show would be a success? When nobody knew what it actually was even in concept? It was just sort of a stopgate in a Johnny Carson late night sort of contract dispute. What does this actually look like? And that is what this film is. It's a movie that is essentially, if you've ever seen Steve Jobs, the Aaron Sorokin picture, where every single sequence of that movie is like a 30-minute sequence of what was Steve Jobs doing before this big presentation. Well, this is a whole movie of that concept. And it's a movie that, based on the trailers, I thought I was absolutely going to love. It just seemed like my sort of thing. And fortunately, there's a lot I like about this movie. Unfortunately, there are a lot of things that I didn't particularly love about it. So let's get into it. First things first, this movie, its biggest strength is its cast. Much like Saturday Night Live, this cast has a bunch of actors that maybe have not broken out into mainstream yet as being these big superstars, but are people that are right on the cusp. Of course, you do have some very large actors. You have Willem Dafoe in here. You have J.K. Simmons, who gives just a hilarious performance and has arguably the best scene in the movie, the most effective scene. But altogether, you have a bunch of actors who are famous, but maybe not the most famous people in Hollywood. Someone like Rachel Sennott, who I am a massive fan is. She's here and she is really great. Maybe a little underutilized, but awesome. You have Dylan O'Brien here as Dan Aykroyd. He's also really good here, also slightly underutilized. Some of the biggest standouts though, Nicholas Braun. Of course, if you watch my channel, you know Succession's one of my favorite shows of all time. Seeing Gregory Eggery in this movie made me just smile ear to ear. He actually plays two characters here. He plays Jim Henson and somebody else, I think Andy Kaufman. He's hilarious. He, yet again, a little underutilized, not on screen that much, but when he is on screen and doing his thing, he got easily the biggest laughs out of me in this entire film. Absolutely brilliant. You also have Corey Michael Smith in this movie playing Chevy Chase. Corey Michael Smith's an actor I've been talking about for years. He is so incredibly talented and has yet to be utilized or brought into like the Hollywood fold in a big way. He plays Chevy Chase in this movie, and to me, he was the standout. He is confident, he is brilliant, he is tall, he is strong, and he is absolutely hilarious and commanding with his ability to do sort of comedic bits. He is so good here, easily my favorite part of the movie, and the whole time I was watching him, I was like, man, this guy should play the Riddler. In fact, he did in Gotham, a TV show none of you watch, but you should all watch. My least favorite performance in this whole movie is actually Gabriel LaBelle, who plays the lead here. He's not bad. I just feel like his performance and his character is just so much more underwhelming than everything else that was going around him, which is one of the main problems in this movie. There's a lot going on here. There's so many different moving parts. It is chaos, and that's the point. The point of this movie is to talk about the chaos that was going on in the production of this show. And when it is that sort of controlled chaos, but this overwhelming chaos with this character trying to put together this show, the movie works. Seeing him have to maneuver through all these moving parts and not even know if the show's going on, it is fascinating. Having to deal with executives and Willem Dafoe, who plays kind of this weird asshole who's in a weird way like Logan Roying his way into making this show work, but you know, being a dickhead at the same time. Seeing him work out all these different parts and all these different things works really well. The movie is at its best when it's just these characters fucking with the chaos and kind of rehearsing and just things going wrong. The movie's at its worst when it takes time to like sort of take a step back and let's look from a wider view of what's going on here and let's take these small moments to just listen to these characters bullshit, and that's when the movie gets slow. There are way too many moments in this movie where the film just takes a strong foot on the brake, and there are scenes that just don't really go anywhere, and they almost lose you. And I don't want to call this movie boring, because every single time there is a little stretch like this that is boring, the film will immediately bring you back in. But once you get halfway through this film and you know the entire thing is just this hour-and-a-half run-on to Saturday Night Live, it almost makes you wonder, what if they had just done a movie about the pilot episode of Saturday Night Live? It gets to a point where I kind of wanted to see the execution of what they were trying to do here. Instead, we get to see the build-up, and I know you're going to say, the execution, go watch the pilot episode of Saturday Night Live, it's out there. But a part of me is like, I would have liked to have seen it in this film. I would have liked to see them go the entire episode, start to finish, and what is the conversation after? And because you never get that, you sort of get this weird, boring slog. The audience knows this is going to be a success. How do we know that? Well, because...
And live from New York, it's Saturday Night!
We hear it every single Saturday, guys. It's there. It's a real thing. It's the biggest show on Saturday nights, so we know this is going to be a success. So there's no, like, suspense or tension on, is this actually going to work out? So I kind of wish we got to see how it worked out, the actual show itself, not just the build-up, because even by the time this movie ends, there's still a question of, like, How are they gonna pull this off? And I just think they could have removed a lot of the slow moments with some of the characters that don't really make a big splash in the film and maybe just focused more on that. But altogether, this is a film that does a good job at what it's trying to do. It's trying to be funny. It is a really funny movie. Yet again, Nicholas Braun got some huge laughs out of me. Chevy Chase, oh my god, there's so many funny parts about this movie, so many lines that really, really hit. There's a lot of other jokes that don't hit as much. Every actor kind of gets a chance to shine here. Like I said before, J.K. Simmons, great job. Willem Dafoe doing what he always does best, just being kind of the standout of a movie in a weird way. But this movie just has way too many slow moments. I don't know if it fits this concept and this style as well as something like Steve Jobs did. Yet again, you can't expect this to be as well written as an Aaron Sorokin movie, who's like the master at writing stuff like this. So of course Steve Jobs is a better movie, but this is still a very good watch that I could recommend. Is it as good as I wanted it to be? No, not really. Is it one of the standouts of the year? Also not really, but it is a movie that if you're looking for something to do for an hour and a half on a Saturday night, go watch Saturday Night. I will give this movie a 3 out of 5 and a recommendation to go check it out and make up your own opinion. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one.